The boy who was removed from first class. A lesson in respect. A boy is forced out of first class. Young Ethan sat in his first-class seat, excitement shining in his eyes. It was his first time experiencing the luxury of premium travel, and he couldn't wait for the flight to take off. But his joy was short-lived. A flight attendant, Linda Parker, approached him with a skeptical look. She frowned, scanning the well-dressed passengers around him before turning her attention back to the boy. "I'm sorry, young man, but I believe you're in the wrong seat," she said, her tone firm. Ethan quickly reached for his boarding pass, showing it to her. "No, ma'am. My dad booked this seat for me. It's mine." Linda barely glanced at the ticket before shaking her head. "I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to move to economy class." Ethan hesitated. He knew he had done nothing wrong, yet the doubt in her voice made him feel out of place. Without arguing, he gathered his belongings and moved to the back of the plane. Before settling in his new seat, he sent a text to his father. "Dad, I was forced to leave first class. They don't believe I belong there." Rising action. The father faces similar treatment. A few hours later, at the airport, Richard Thompson, Ethan's father and the chairman of the airline, arrived for the same flight. Despite his high status, he preferred to travel humbly, never flaunting his position. When Richard approached the check-in counter for first class, Linda Parker was once again in charge. She looked him up and down, noting his simple attire. Something about him didn't fit the image of a first-class passenger in her mind. "I'm sorry, sir, but I think there's been a mistake," she said, her tone cool. "You should be checking in for economy." Richard raised an eyebrow, but instead of arguing, he calmly handed over his ticket. Linda barely looked at it before pushing it back. "Sir, I'm asking you to step aside." He didn't protest. Instead, Richard pulled out his phone and sent a quick message to the airline's executive board. He then stood patiently, waiting for what would come next. Climax. The truth is revealed. Minutes later, an announcement echoed through the airport. "Linda Parker, please report to the manager's office immediately." Confused and slightly nervous, Linda hurried away, leaving Richard at the counter. When she arrived at the office, she was met with the stern gaze of her superior. Next to him stood Richard Thompson. "Do you know who this man is?" the manager asked. Linda glanced at Richard, still oblivious to the situation. "An economy passenger who tried to access first class," she guessed hesitantly. The manager took a deep breath before delivering the revelation that sent chills down her spine. "This is Richard Thompson, the chairman of our airline." Linda's face turned pale. A wave of panic washed over her as she realized the gravity of her mistake. Not once, but twice in a single day. Resolution, a lesson learned. Richard returned to the plane, this time walking down the aisle to where his son was seated. Ethan looked up, confused yet relieved to see his father. "They made you move too?" Ethan asked. Richard smiled knowingly. "Not exactly." Linda, now humbled, approached with downcast eyes. "Mr. Thompson, I'm so sorry for how I treated you and your son." Richard regarded her calmly. "Linda, today you made a mistake, one that too many people make. You judged not by facts, but by assumptions. We should never determine someone's worth based on appearances." She nodded, tears welling up. "I understand now." As the plane took off, Ethan looked up at his father with admiration. This experience had taught them both something invaluable. And as for Linda, she would never again be so quick to judge. Key lessons from this story. 1. Never judge by appearances. This story highlights how easily people make assumptions based on how someone looks, rather than their actual status or worth. 2. Respect and fairness matter. Every individual deserves to be treated with dignity and respect, regardless of their background, age, or social standing. 3. Power should be used responsibly. True leadership is not about showing authority, but about ensuring justice, fairness, and humility. 4. Mistakes offer learning opportunities. Linda's realization is a reminder that acknowledging and learning from our mistakes makes us better individuals. 5. Bias can be harmful. Many people unknowingly carry biases, which can lead to unfair treatment. This story is a lesson in self-awareness and personal growth. 6. A powerful message for us all. 7. Both this story and the previous one highlight a common theme. We must not judge people based on appearances or assumptions. 8. Richard, as a CEO, had the power to fire someone on the spot, yet he chose to teach a lesson instead. This demonstrates that true leadership isn't about wielding authority, but about using wisdom and fairness to make lasting change. 9. This is a wake-up call for us all to be more mindful of how we treat others. Whether in the workplace, in public, or even in our personal lives, kindness and fairness should always be our guiding principles. Lessons from the story for real-life application and principles for proper conduct. The story highlights crucial lessons that are directly applicable to everyday life, whether in the workplace, social settings, or personal interactions. Here are the key takeaways and practical principles for better conduct. 1. Avoid judging others by appearance. Lesson: people are often misjudged based on how they look, dress, or their background. Assumptions can lead to unfair treatment and missed opportunities to truly understand someone. Real-life application. Before forming an opinion about someone, take time to observe their actions and character instead of making snap judgments. Treat everyone with equal respect, whether they're a CEO, an employee, or a stranger. Avoid bias in hiring, customer service, or day-to-day interactions. Principle for proper conduct. Always assume positive intent until proven otherwise. Take a moment to verify facts before making decisions about others. 2. Power and authority should be used responsibly. Lesson: true leadership is not about exerting control, but about ensuring fairness and justice. Richard, despite his authority, chose to educate rather than punish immediately. Real-life application. If you are in a leadership position, manager, teacher, parent, mentor, use your influence to uplift others rather than to intimidate or belittle them. When dealing with a conflict, aim for a solution that benefits everyone rather than using power to dominate a situation. Lead by example. Show humility, fairness, and wisdom in decision-making. Principle for proper conduct. Power should be used to support and uplift, not to oppress. Leaders should be approachable and open to feedback. 3. Mistakes are learning opportunities, not justifications for harsh punishment. Lesson: Linda, the flight attendant, made a mistake but was given a chance to reflect and change. We all make errors, but what matters is how we respond and improve. Real-life application. Instead of immediately reacting with anger or punishment, create opportunities for people to learn from their mistakes. When you make a mistake, acknowledge it, apologize, and take steps to ensure it doesn't happen again. Foster a culture of growth, where employees, colleagues, and friends feel safe to admit errors and improve. Principle for proper conduct. Accept personal responsibility for mistakes. Forgive others and allow room for growth. 4. Respect should be a fundamental value in every interaction. Lesson: no matter someone's age, race, gender, or social status, they deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. Real-life application. Greet and interact with everyone with the same level of courtesy, regardless of their role. Do not let personal biases affect how you treat people. When dealing with customer service, employees, or subordinates, be patient and respectful even if issues arise. Principle for proper conduct. Treat everyone with the same respect you expect in return. Listen actively before reacting. 5. Always verify information before taking action. Lesson: both Ethan and Richard had valid first-class tickets, yet Linda assumed otherwise without checking. Acting based on assumptions rather than facts can lead to serious mistakes. Real-life application. Whether in business, personal relationships, or daily tasks, always gather accurate information before making a decision. Avoid spreading misinformation or gossip without verifying the facts. If someone brings up an issue, investigate it thoroughly before taking action. Principle for proper conduct. Double-check information before assuming or acting. Ask questions instead of making assumptions. His story serves as a powerful reminder that respect, fairness, and humility should be present in all our interactions. Whether in leadership, customer service, or daily life, treating others with dignity creates a better society for everyone. If you found these lessons meaningful, share this story to inspire others. Subscribe to Talk Story for more real-life lessons and inspirational content.